The 1996 Washington Quarter stands as one of the final issues of the long-running Washington Quarter design before the historic transition to the State Quarters program in 1999. And it represents a powerful closing chapter in a coin series that began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, and by 1996, the design had already become one of the most recognized and collected coins in the history of the United States. The obverse of the 1996 quarter features the timeless portrait of George Washington, originally designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose profile depiction was inspired by a bust created by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon, and the inscription, "Liberty" appears above Washington's head, while "In God We Trust" is positioned to the left, and the date 1996 appears at the bottom, reflecting continuity in American coin artistry. On the reverse, the coin carries the familiar heraldic eagle design with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches symbolizing readiness for war and desire for peace, and the inscriptions "United States of America" and "Quarter Dollar" frame the eagle, while "E Pluribus Unum" appears above, emphasizing unity among the states. The 1996 Washington Quarter was struck at 3 United States Mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with Philadelphia, and Denver producing circulation strikes, and San Francisco producing proof versions for collectors, and each mint mark plays an important role in the numismatic identity of the coin. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of 1996 quarters without a mint mark, as was tradition, and these coins entered circulation across the nation, becoming part of everyday commerce, and though common in circulated grades, they hold importance as part of complete year sets for collectors. The Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, struck a substantial number of 1996 quarters, and these coins are often found with strong strikes and appealing luster when preserved in uncirculated condition, making them popular among collectors seeking high-grade examples for registry sets. The San Francisco Mint struck proof versions bearing the S Mint mark, and these coins were produced using specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in sharp details, mirrored fields, and frosted devices, and both clad proofs and special silver-proof coins were made for collector-proof sets. The 1996 silver-proof quarter is particularly notable because it was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper composition, echoing the metallic standards used prior to 1965, and these silver proofs were included in special silver-proof sets that appealed strongly to traditional collectors. In terms of composition, the standard 1996 circulation quarter was made of a copper core, sandwiched between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, giving it durability for everyday use, and the coin weighs 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, maintaining the consistent specifications established decades earlier. The year 1996 was historically significant for the United States Mint because it marked preparations for the upcoming 50 State Quarters program, and the Washington Quarter design of 1996 was among the last traditional eagle reverse issues before dramatic design changes reshaped the series. Collectors often seek high-grade uncirculated examples of the 1996 quarter, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher, because coins at that level exhibit exceptional strike quality, strong luster, and minimal contact marks, and such pieces can command premiums above face value in the numismatic market. Proof versions of the 1996 quarter are valued for their sharp cameo contrast between frosted devices and mirrored backgrounds, and deep cameo specimens, especially in silver-proof format, are admired for their visual appeal and long-term collectability. Error coins from 1996 have also attracted attention, including off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, and clipped planchets, and though not common, such mint errors can significantly increase the value of an otherwise ordinary quarter, depending on the severity and visual impact of the error. The economic climate of 1996 saw steady growth in the United States, and quarters circulated heavily in vending machines, parking meters, and everyday transactions, and the 1996 Washington quarter became a silent participant in daily American life, passing through countless hands. By the mid-1990s, coin collecting experienced renewed interest, particularly as anticipation grew for the state quarters program, and many collectors began saving high-grade examples of late-date Washington quarters, including the 1996 issue in original mint sets. Mint sets issued in 1996 included uncirculated examples from both Philadelphia and Denver, and these sets remain a common way for collectors to obtain well-preserved coins, free from circulation wear and often displaying original mint luster. The artistry of John Flanagan's design remained largely unchanged in 1996, reflecting the enduring strength of its classical style, and the portrait of Washington had become deeply embedded in American culture, appearing not only on the quarter, but also symbolizing leadership and national identity. Although the 1996 quarter may appear ordinary at first glance, it represents continuity in American coinage, bridging the gap between traditional coin design and the innovative era that followed with commemorative state reverses. Numismatic grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified thousands of 1996 quarters, and population reports reveal that while most examples are common in lower mint state grades, truly superb specimens remain comparatively scarce. Silver-proof versions of the 1996 quarter contain approximately 0.18084 troy ounces of pure silver, and their intrinsic value fluctuates with silver market prices, adding an additional dimension to their appeal beyond collectability. The edge of the 1996 quarter features the traditional reeded design, which not only adds aesthetic detail, but historically served as a deterrent against precious metal clipping when coins were struck in silver composition. Collectors assembling date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters consider 1996 an essential entry, as it represents one of the final years before the major transition, and completing the long-running Eagle Reverse series often culminates with coins like the 1996 issue. The historical lineage of the Washington quarter, from its introduction in 1932 through 1996, reflects decades of American history, including wars, economic change, cultural transformation, and technological advancement, all witnessed by this small yet powerful coin. In 1996, the United States celebrated the 220th anniversary of American independence, and coins such as the Washington quarter served as enduring reminders of the nation's founding principles and democratic traditions. Today, the 1996 Washington quarter continues to circulate, though many examples have been pulled aside by collectors who recognize its place at the threshold of a new era in American coin design. As one of the last pre-state quarters Eagle reverses, the 1996 Washington quarter stands as a symbol of tradition, stability, and continuity in United States coinage, and its story reflects both the legacy of the past and the anticipation of change that defined the closing years of the 20th century. The year 1996 also marked the 64th year of the Washington quarter series, which began in 1932, and by this time the coin had become one of the longest-running unchanged designs in United States history, and this longevity created a deep sense of familiarity among Americans who often handled the quarter without considering the rich artistic and historical background behind its creation. In 1996, the United States Mint continued improving production technology, including die preparation and striking pressure, which helped produce sharper details compared to some earlier decades. And while the design itself remained classic, the manufacturing processes reflected modern advancements that ensured consistent quality across millions of coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver. The collectible appeal of the 1996 Washington quarter increased even more after 1999, when the traditional Eagle reverse was retired for the 50 state quarters program, because collectors began to look back At the final Eagle reverse years with greater appreciation, and the 1996 issue became part of that nostalgic closing group representing the end of a historic design era. For young collectors in the late 1990s, the 1996 quarter often served as an accessible entry point into coin collecting since it was still easy to find in circulation, and many hobbyists began by saving bright, uncirculated examples from pocket change before eventually expanding their collections to include proof and silver-proof versions. Today, the 1996 Washington quarter is viewed not only as a common circulation coin, but as a transitional piece linking more than 6 decades of traditional American coinage design with the modern commemorative era, and its importance lies less in rarity and more in its historical position as one of the final representatives of the classic eagle reverse that defined American quarters for generations. In conclusion, the 1996 Washington quarter represents the quiet strength of tradition in American coinage as it carried forward the classic portrait of George Washington and the enduring eagle reverse at a time when the United States Mint was preparing for dramatic change. And although millions were struck for circulation, the coin holds historical importance as one of the last issues before the transformation brought by the state quarters era, making it a symbolic closing note to more than 6 decades of consistent design. Ultimately, the legacy of the 1996 quarter is not defined by rarity or extraordinary value, but by its role as a bridge between generations of collectors and everyday Americans who used it in daily life. And as the final years of the 20th century approached, this coin stood as a reminder of stability, heritage, and continuity, ensuring that the story of the traditional Washington Quarter series would be remembered long after new designs began reshaping the nation's coinage.